This bird can see a moving target from over a kilometer away, while flying at extreme speed. But the real mystery is not its vision. It's what happens in the final second before it strikes. How does it never miss? An eagle can see details from far above the ground that humans cannot even imagine. But what makes its vision so powerful? And how does it turn that advantage into perfect survival? High above mountains, forests, and rivers, the eagle rules the sky as one of nature's most precise hunters. Its eyes are built with extreme sharpness, allowing it to detect movement from long distances. Scientists estimate that an eagle's vision can be several times stronger than that of a human. This means it can spot a small fish moving beneath water surfaces while flying high above. However, what makes this even more interesting is how quickly it processes what it sees. The eagle's brain is specialized to react instantly to movement and distance changes. Every flight becomes a calculated search for survival opportunities. Its head movements are minimal, yet its focus remains locked on potential prey. This precision is not random, but the result of millions of years of evolution. Eagles are found across different continents, adapting to mountains, coastlines, and open plains. Despite different environments, their hunting behavior remains highly consistent. They rely on height, patience, and sudden acceleration to secure food. From above, the world looks slow. But for the eagle, every detail is alive and active. As it glides through the air, it constantly scans the ground with unmatched attention. But this level of awareness is only the beginning of its survival strategy, because once prey is detected, everything changes within seconds. The moment an eagle locks onto its target, its entire body shifts into precision mode. Every movement becomes controlled, silent, and calculated. However, what makes this even more interesting is the way it adjusts its flight path instantly. It does not simply dive in a straight line without thinking. Instead, it analyzes wind direction, distance, and prey movement in real time. Scientists have observed that eagles can correct their trajectory multiple times during a single dive. This makes their attack highly efficient and extremely difficult to escape. As it begins its descent, the eagle folds its wings partially to reduce air resistance. Its speed increases rapidly as gravity and aerodynamics work together. The air around it becomes a tool, not an obstacle. Even small changes in wing angle can alter direction with precision. Prey animals often have only seconds to react once the dive begins, but the eagle has already calculated multiple possible escape routes in advance. This ability gives it a major advantage in open environments like lakes and plains. However, not every dive guarantees success, and failure is part of its survival reality. If the prey escapes, the eagle quickly regains altitude without wasting energy. It resets, scans again, and prepares for another opportunity. Because in the wild, patience is just as important as speed. After a failed attempt, the eagle does not show hesitation or panic. Instead, it demonstrates a remarkable level of behavioral control. It returns to a higher altitude where visibility is wider and more effective. From this position, it can scan large areas with minimal effort. However, what makes this even more interesting is its energy management strategy. Eagles do not waste energy on constant flight. They rely heavily on thermal air currents to stay airborne with minimal effort. These rising warm air columns allow them to glide for long periods without flapping. Scientists have found that this energy-saving method is essential for survival. Because hunting requires sudden bursts of extreme speed, conservation is critical. The eagle's wings are designed with broad surfaces and strong feathers. Each feather plays a role in controlling lift and stability. Even slight feather adjustments can change direction or speed during flight. This level of control makes them masters of aerial navigation. As the eagle continues to circle high above, it keeps recalibrating its search pattern. It avoids repeating the same scanning path to increase hunting success. However, what is still not fully understood is how they remember successful hunting zones over time. This suggests a deeper level of spatial intelligence than previously believed. And as it moves across the sky, another opportunity slowly begins to appear below. Far below, subtle movements begin to reveal a new opportunity for the eagle. A slight ripple on water, or a quick shift in grass, can trigger its attention instantly. However, what makes this even more interesting is how it distinguishes real prey from random motion. Not every movement is worth an attack, and misjudgment can cost energy and survival chances. Scientists believe the eagle's brain filters visual information with extreme accuracy. It prioritizes speed, size, and behavior patterns before making a decision. This decision-making process happens in fractions of a second. Once confirmed, the eagle begins to position itself for a controlled approach. It adjusts altitude gradually instead of rushing immediately. This helps it remain undetected for as long as possible. Its shadow becomes part of the sky rather than a warning on the ground. Prey animals often remain unaware until the final moment of the strike. However, what is still fascinating is how the eagle times its descent with environmental conditions. Wind direction, sunlight angle, and terrain all influence the final attack strategy. It uses natural elements as tools to increase success rates. As it closes distance, its body becomes more compact and focused. Every muscle is now prepared for explosive movement, and in this silent tension, the sky itself feels like it is holding its breath. As the eagle closes in, its body enters a highly controlled descent posture. Its wings partially fold to reduce drag while maintaining balance. However, what makes this even more interesting is the precision of its final alignment. It does not attack randomly, but positions itself based on exact angle and distance. Scientists describe this phase as the most energy-efficient part of the strike sequence. The eagle uses gravity to accelerate while conserving muscular effort. Its eyes remain locked on the target without blinking frequently. This reduces visual interruption during critical moments of timing. Prey animals often sense danger too late, reacting only when escape is nearly impossible. The eagle's talons begin to extend forward before impact. Each talon is curved and extremely strong, designed for gripping fast-moving targets. Upon contact, the force of impact is combined with instant grasping pressure. However, what is still remarkable is how the eagle stabilizes itself during capture. Even in high-speed motion, it can adjust wing angles to avoid losing balance. This control allows it to maintain dominance even in chaotic mid-air interactions. Once the prey is secured, the eagle immediately begins to regain stable flight. It redirects upward or toward a nearby perch depending on terrain and safety. And in that moment, the hunt transitions from action to control, as survival is finally secured. After securing its prey, the eagle's behavior shifts from aggression to complete control. It begins scanning the surroundings immediately to detect potential threats. However, what makes this even more interesting is how alert it remains even during feeding. Unlike many predators, the eagle does not fully relax after a successful hunt. It understands that food can attract competition from other birds and scavengers. Scientists have observed that larger raptors may attempt to steal kills if given the chance. Because of this, the eagle often chooses elevated and isolated feeding locations. High trees, cliffs, or rocky outcrops become temporary safe zones. Its grip strength allows it to carry or stabilize prey depending on size. Even while perched, its eyes continue scanning in multiple directions. This constant awareness is a key survival advantage in the wild. However, what is still fascinating is how eagles prioritize consumption based on energy needs. They often eat high-protein parts first to restore strength quickly. Feathers and bones are usually avoided or left behind depending on species. This selective feeding strategy improves energy efficiency after intense hunts. In colder regions, food preservation becomes even more critical for survival. The eagle may return to the same kill multiple times if conditions are safe. And as it feeds, its attention never fully leaves the surrounding sky. Because in the world of the eagle, even a moment of distraction can change everything. Even after feeding, the eagle remains in a constant state of environmental awareness. Its survival depends not only on hunting skill, but also on risk prediction. However, what makes this even more interesting is how it reacts to other predators in the area. When a larger threat approaches, the eagle does not always choose confrontation. Instead, it evaluates distance, strength, and escape routes within seconds. Scientists have documented that many eagle species prefer strategic retreat over unnecessary conflict. This decision preserves energy and reduces injury risk. Once safe, it often relocates to a different vantage point for better control of its territory. Territorial behavior is extremely important in eagle populations. Each individual maintains a defined hunting range that it defends or monitors. Intrusions from other eagles can lead to aerial displays of dominance. These encounters are intense but usually avoid physical contact when possible. However, what is still fascinating is how these aerial displays function as communication. Wing movements, flight patterns, and height positioning all send signals. It is a silent language written in the sky. Young eagles learn these behaviors over time by observing adults. This learning period is critical for survival in their early life stages. And as the sky begins to shift with changing winds, the eagle prepares for the next phase of its journey. As the wind shifts across the open sky, the eagle continues its endless cycle of survival and precision. Every flight becomes a reminder that mastery of the air is built on awareness, patience, and timing. However, what makes this final truth even more powerful is that the eagle never truly stops. learning from its environment. Each hunt, each glide, and each decision shapes its future survival in ways science is still uncovering. In the silent heights of nature, it remains one of the most efficient predators ever studied, and its dominance is not just strength, but intelligence refined by evolution over millions of years. The eagle stands as a symbol of control, focus, and adaptability in the wild. Its story is not about violence, but about survival in perfect balance with nature. If you enjoyed this documentary, make sure to like and subscribe for more wildlife stories.